My name is Gary Brado, and I'm a documentary filmmaker and an entrepreneur. The economy is in less than perfect shape, and when the jobs go away, there's nothing left to do but get up and get creative. And there are people all over America doing just that. It's estimated that up to 85% of new businesses fail. So I'm going coast to coast to hear the personal stories of the people who beat the odds and started a successful business from the ground up. This is Startup.
The entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well. In Walsh College's business launch entrepreneurial community, consultants provide advice to aspiring business starters. More information available online.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet, find new roads.
American Express is proud to support startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
I'm on Woodland in Ferndale, Michigan, and we're gonna go talk to Berkey, who created Four Chamber Forge. Now, Berkey learned at an early age that a paycheck was never gonna be worth sacrificing your happiness. So he dropped everything and created this incredible business making handmade wood, steel, and leather merchandise. Let's go hear his story. The craft and hobby industry holds 8 categories. Of those categories, there are 53 segments. Woodworking is the most profitable of the 53 segments, taking in $3.32 billion in sales in 2010. Berkey grew up in a family of makers and has worked with his hands from a very young age. He discovered his passion for jewelry making after carving a wooden ring for a coworker, which became popular amongst locals and turned one simple gesture into a profitable business.
Where'd you go to school?
Well, I went to school in Berkeley School Districts and got into computer science, building computers, doing that whole thing. Got into Kettering during my senior year. So
Explain to people what Kettering is.
Kettering is General Motors Institute, is what it used to be called. It's an engineering school. It's work study, so they do 3 months of class, 3 months at a full-time job. They got me a job, started working doing computer science, and realized I could make money doing it, but it wasn't gonna make me happy. It was a job.
You were separating bolts.
Yeah. And so luckily I was enrolled at Wayne State, so the day before classes started, I signed up at Wayne State for anthropology. And after a couple of years of doing anthropology at Wayne State, I loved it, but it's, the question again, it was, I love doing this, but what will I have to do to make money doing it? And so I took the rest of the money that I had saved for college and bought this house and turned the rickety garage into a workshop. My parents basically, we had money, but my mom was used to squeezing blood out of a stone. And so, yeah, we always had tools. My dad would always make stuff. That's how we solved problems in the house.
When you say solve problems, you mean like inner family type issues?
No, we didn't need tools for that. But
Well, an outlet,
Yeah, or, we bought a new TV, and so my dad built a TV stand and incorporated some videotape storage, and it was just the idea that we knew what we needed, and we could probably solve the problem better than any store or cheaper. And so it was fun because we always had the tools around, and my dad's policy was he'd answer any questions, and if I got hurt, I was in trouble. So, this is a power saw, this is how it works. If you cut yourself, you're not allowed to use it anymore.
Oh, no. So you learned real quick.
Yeah. The lax rules in Detroit allowed me to put a coal forge in my backyard and, scoured some scrap metal and started just kind of banging on things, and just the way my dad taught me.
So a coal forge really shouldn't be in a residential area.
No, a coal forge should not be in a residential area.
It might just blend right in River Rouge area or something. Or Detroit.
Yeah. It was made out of an old brake drum. And so you had a brake drum and a fan that blew air up the bottom, and you'd get some coal, set a fire in there, and you could bring it up to about 2,000 or 3,000 degrees. And so I could take coil springs that I found from old, junker cars in Detroit, heat them up, bend them, hammer on them until I could make tools, And then after you make the tools, then the next step is actually making what you want to make.
The Craft and Hobby Association puts jewelry making at $1.4 billion in revenue for 2010.
What happened next? You were just probably having fun, right?
Oh, I was having a lot of fun.
Experimenting.
And I was working in the restaurant, and I ended up moving into here, working out of this shop. We hired a waitress at the restaurant, and I had a little bit of a crush on her. And she had a wooden ring collection. And so one day I came back to the shop and was chopping firewood and was just like, you know what? That's a really cool knot. I could make her a ring. That would be a nice little end. And so nothing came from that, but all the other waitresses wanted to know where their wooden rings were. And so made a bunch for all the waitresses I worked with. And then, you know, there were some really cool pieces that were too small. So I ended up making a necklace and then making some earrings. And then from that, our customers would come in and ask where all the waitresses got their jewelry.
Started with a crush. Who says that chivalry is dead? That's an incredible story. If that girl wasn't there and you weren't there, you may not have made that ring.
Yeah, who knows what would have happened. I ended up selling a lot of stuff online. I ended up getting a few wholesale deals. I went to New York City for a martial arts conference, and while I was in New York, I brought a backpack full of my jewelry and wandered from the airport to Manhattan. Walked 28 miles that day, just stopped at any little boutique, opened up the bag and asked them if they'd want to sell it. With the boutiques, it opened up the idea that instead of just doing art fairs, I could do wholesale.
Did the business become sustainable to your life, to your lifestyle and everything?
It's been 3 years as an S Corp, and now I have a real estate business in addition to the gym, in addition to the art business. I was able to buy a building down the street that I used to drive by every day on my way to work and tell myself, if I won the lottery one day, I'm gonna buy that building, open a gym, and make art, and that'll be my life. And I didn't win the lottery, but I was able to hustle a little bit and make it work.
56% of U.S. households crafted at least once during 2010, contributing to the $29.2 billion U.S. craft and hobby industry.
What's your total financial investment in this operation, the woodworking operation?
All in all, probably, $1,000.
Total.
Oh yeah.
Business.
Oh yeah.
And it is profitable.
Oh yeah. One of the nice things is I try and use mostly local stuff that I get for free. So material cost is almost nothing. And it's just time, energy, and focus and design that's what gives everything its worth.
So are you able to keep up with supply?
I am, mostly because, again, I got really good at being efficient. Yeah. And so I'll spend an 8-hour day in the shop and just crank out pieces.
What percentage of your business is e-commerce? And then what has the impact of social media been for you?
Social media I haven't seized on as much as I should. The internet presence is actually getting a little bigger. I'm getting a little more press. And so the e-commerce right now, I probably, depending on fairs, 50%.
What advice do you have for other entrepreneurs out there? People that just want to do what they've always loved, but they're scared.
Stay flexible, a big thing.
Like stretching?
Stay flexible with your plan.
Okay.
To always do what you love, because that's why you're getting in business by yourself anyway. If you can do something you hate for someone else, don't do something you hate for yourself. So don't let your job turn into that.
Thanks a lot, man.
Oh,
really
it's my
appreciate
pleasure.
hearing
Thank
your story.
We all have the ability to create the perfect life. And for Berkey, I think he's already there. But first, you gotta stop pining about what you can and cannot do and start whittling away at your dream. It just might grow roots faster than you think. For more information, log on to our website and click the link for Ford Chamber Forge. Visit our website at startup-usa.com and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. What do you call organic food? What did they call organic food in 1950?
No idea.
Food.
Exactly. Exactly.
American Express is proud to support startup and the millions of small businesses that put in the hard work to be open for business in neighborhoods across the country.
The Chevrolet Volt, an everyday electric car with gas for longer trips. The nature of things to come. Chevrolet. Find new roads.
The entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well. In Walsh College's business launch entrepreneurial community, consultants provide advice to aspiring business starters. More information available online.